Okay, so today we're going to talk about solving for a given variable, or otherwise known a literal equation, which basically the idea here is we're, just like any equation, we're trying to get our variable all by itself. So it's going to give us an equation to solve, or a variable to solve for, and we're just trying to get that variable all by itself. So if we look at number 1, it's 2y equals 16. So we just want to get that y. This is just a normal one-step equation. We would divide by 2, right? Y would equal 8. That's the idea that we're trying to do here. Now, if I look at, well, let's look at number 3. If I want to get rid of this 1 over 2, negative 2y, again, I would start by multiplying by a negative 2, and that would just leave me with 1y, or y is equal to negative 16. Okay, but over here, there is a y and an x. So I'm not going to be able to solve for a nice, pretty number here. But it wants me to solve for y. So again, just like with any equation, I'm trying to get that y all by itself. So if I want to move this x to the other side, I would have to add x, right? Negative x plus x would become 0, cancels out, and you're left with y is equal to 10 plus x. Now, is the y by itself? Yes. And then these, well, that would be my answer, right? If I look at number 5 here, I have the y on this side, and again, I'm trying to get that y by itself. So it has a 4 next to it. So what I would do is I would divide by 4. And that leaves me with y is equal to 5 over 4x.
Warning.
Okay? And that would be my answer. There's no warning. It's not an inequality. Not dividing by a negative. Okay? Let's look at number 10 here. So on this one, we want to get the y by itself, right? So easiest way to get the y by itself is to just move the y. So I would add y to each side. Leaves me with y is equal to negative 3 plus 2x. Okay, and the y is by itself. That's your answer. I feel like I'm about to get sabotaged here. Okay. Looking at this worksheet, again, we're trying to get the y by itself. So on this worksheet, they're a little bit of a bigger problem. Let's look at this one. So I have 8 plus 4y. So there's 2 terms next to the y. So I'm going to start by, it's like a party problem, right? I'm going to start by getting rid of the 8. So I had minus 8 to each side. Gives me 3x minus 8 is equal to 4y. Now, I have to divide by the 4. But here we have an issue, right? If I'm dividing, there's 2 terms over here. So that 4 technically has to go to every term. So I'm going to divide everything by 4. Cancels out here, leaving y. And then 3 over 4x would become a decimal. I'm just going to leave it as a fraction. So if it doesn't divide evenly, just leave it as a fraction. Then minus 8 over 4 would become minus 2. And that would be your answer. Y is by itself. You're all done. Okay? And that's pretty much all you have to do to solve for a given variable. And never